Some people eventually get to their 60s and look back on the life that they didn't want to live. Sure, they might have had some fun here and there, a few vacations, but originally they wanted to be, I don't know, a dancer or a baker, some random shit like that. They dreamed big while they were kids, and as they got older, they were told to be realistic, get a regular job, and live the rest of their life working for the man. And even if they did break away from that job and started their own business, normally it's not the type of business that is scalable. It's normally the type of business where they have to work even more hours. But we live in a day and age where we can monetize literally anything. You can chase your passion, do exactly what you love to do, and make money from it. But another problem we run into is the problem of consistency and discipline. When I was younger, I struggled with consistency all the time. Discipline was almost nowhere to be found. I went to the gym, I trained martial arts, and that was about it. I wanted to make these YouTube videos like I'm doing now, except I just couldn't maintain consistency on posting every single day like I had planned. And now I've gotten to the point where I'm nearly at 30 days of consistent posting. And that means posting, editing, and all that shit. I haven't missed a day. Even when I didn't feel like it, I still showed up. And this was coming from somebody who only did things when he felt like it. So I'm gonna give you the 3 steps that I did to help you eliminate inconsistency and maintain discipline for the rest of your life to achieve your goal and eventually become free. Step number 1, define a goal. Now, this whole process won't work if there's not something that you're fighting for. There's not something that you want to get to. But I know deep down that there's something that you want to achieve, but there's also something holding you back. This goal is your why, and your why has to be strong enough for you to get through the hard days, for you to keep pushing through the snow when it's a blizzard, when it's a tsunami, when you're about to freeze and drown. You got to keep pushing through, and that why is going to help you. Without a strong why, you're going to fail every time because you're going to want to give up. And when there's no bigger purpose to reach, you give up. So just for this video, I'm gonna use getting a 6-pack as an example. And I'll put a picture up there just so I can show you that I actually got a 6-pack. So I'm not bullshitting and trying to tell you some dumb, retarded shit that I didn't even do. Step 2, eliminate. This one might be the hardest one because during the elimination step, you must get rid of everything holding you back. For me, to record these videos and to maintain consistency over a month, I had to get rid of all of my vices, which mainly were video games, constant TV binging, constant scrolling on social media, YouTube video after YouTube video. Those things gotta go. And it's not necessarily a time issue like you might think. Instead, it's a dopamine issue. I'm sure you know what dopamine is, but if you don't know, dopamine is the neurochemical that affects our motivation and our pleasure that we get from doing certain habits. Back in the caveman days when we were still hunting for everything we got, let's say a caveman would put a trap to catch a little rabbit, and then he would catch the rabbit and eat the rabbit, and eating felt good. So the caveman would be motivated to do that again and again and again. And that habit builds and creates a dopamine connection. This is a wired connection in your brain. This is something that you automatically do over time. And if eating felt good, if eating gave you pleasure, then that means there are other things, of course, that give you pleasure, like video games. I love video games, don't get me wrong, but they give you too much pleasure. Too much pleasure to the point where you're not able to do the things you need to do because you're overstimulated. Compared to video games, making these YouTube videos is boring. It's boring as hell. When you eliminate video games, you actually have the capacity to sit and record, and it becomes fun. That's the whole goal, is to make it become fun. In the process of introducing the new habits, it's what's called a rewire, which we'll get into later. Another thing you have to eliminate is your limiting beliefs. People say they can't do shit all the time, and it hurts me, because everybody who's at the top, what do they always say? They say, you can do whatever you want in this world. Anything is possible for anybody. You just simply have to tune your brain to it. You have to wire your brain for success. It's that simple. And yes, it will be hard to eliminate. It will be hard to break past your limiting beliefs, and after all your life of saying you couldn't do it, finally say you can. But it takes time, and it takes consistency. It takes effort. Think about it. Every war in history for freedom was fought hard and relentlessly. You have to do that to your own brain. You are at war with your own brain. Step number 3, rewire. Rewire is the process of introducing the new habits after kicking out the old habits. The goal is to, of course, rewire your brain for success. But the science of it all is that you're taking the high overstimulated dopamine levels, or rather the low baseline levels, and making them either return to baseline or higher than baseline. Because if they're higher than baseline, that's good. You want that. Real quick, I'm going to tell you how dopamine baseline works. You have a dopamine baseline. This is your default dopamine levels. When you do something that's pleasurable now, what happens is the dopamine goes up. But after it's over, it goes down, not back to baseline, but below baseline. On the other hand, when you do something that's kind of painful now, it'll go low, but it'll go higher after it's done, not back to baseline, but above baseline. Dopamine equilibrium is kind of a homeostasis type of thing. You go down and it comes back up, and it doesn't stay above baseline forever. But the more things that you can do that involve pain now and pleasure later, the higher the baseline will get. So with this new goal of ours, getting a 6-pack, the thing we must do is eliminate all of the junk food. We must eliminate any reason to not get up and just do sit-ups or any core exercises, even if we're just in our room and not at the gym. Mind you, you don't have to go to the gym. People think you have to go to the gym to work out. You can work out at home. You can work out outside. Thinking you only have to go to the gym is a limiting belief. You need to erase that from your head. But most of all, you must make it the most enjoyable thing of your day. I know that sounds so difficult. And yes, it is very difficult. Going from being highly stimulated and eating junk food, all these donuts and sugary products, to now you can't eat any of that. You can't lay on your ass all day either. Now, doing sit-ups, which is painful, might I add, must be the best part of your day. Now, if you thought step 2 was hard, this one might be harder. But like I said before, when you do something painful now, it leads to greater pleasure in the future. So why not just do the painful thing now? At the end of the exercise, you'll release endorphins, which will make you feel really good. In fact, you might kind of feel high a little bit. Generally, I recommend going on a full dopamine detox before you try to rewire something. In fact, you could rewire while you're doing the detox, but the whole purpose of doing the detox completely is so that there's literally nothing holding you back. You don't have to identify which specific habit is keeping you in that jail cell. You're just getting rid of all the bad habits and reintroducing any good habits. Because let's be honest, reading a book is better than playing video games and watching TV, is it not? You know it's better for you, but it's just less fun comparatively. Journaling is better for your mental health than watching TV, isn't it? Be honest. It's better than social media. Be honest. This is called delayed gratification. Do the things that feel slightly painful now, but lead to pleasure in the future. And again, this is going to be difficult, but it's all down to how bad you want it. Like I said, your why has to be very strong. If your why isn't strong, you won't make it. So you gotta big dick your way through this process, because that's the only other way you're going to succeed. So as always, embrace consistency, embrace discipline, embrace infinity. Peace.